In this podcast episode with biologist Robert Sapolsky, the discussion revolves around the concept of free will and its implications on human behavior and society. The conversation begins with the idea that humans are biologically optimized for survival, not accuracy, which can make modern life difficult to navigate. Sapolsky emphasizes that while there is no free will, individuals can still improve their lives significantly. Sapolsky begins by explaining that the concept of free will is an illusion and that human behavior is largely determined by biological and environmental factors. He argues that our actions are influenced by genetic predispositions, brain chemistry, and environmental stimuli, rather than by a conscious, autonomous will. He uses examples from neuroscience and psychology to illustrate how our brains and bodies shape our decisions and actions, challenging the traditional notion of free will. Sapolsky emphasizes that everything is downstream of biology and ideas. He shares his personal experience of overcoming challenges and transforming his life by encountering new ideas and developing a frame of reference that allowed him to improve. He also highlights the role of neuroplasticity in shaping the brain and behavior. The conversation delves into the unique capacity for self-deception in humans, which is seen as a protective mechanism to cope with the knowledge of mortality. Sapolsky explains that self-deception can be adaptive in certain circumstances, but it can also lead to psychological issues, such as clinical depression. Sapolsky emphasizes the importance of progress and kindness in shaping self-esteem and behavior. He acknowledges the power of progress and the impact of kindness on human flourishing. He also highlights the need to focus on useful ideas and behaviors that contribute to positive outcomes for individuals and society. Sapolsky acknowledges the importance of building self-esteem for motivation and efficacy. He emphasizes the need for individuals to have a positive self-perception, especially in the face of challenges such as dyslexia. However, he cautions against building self-esteem around attributes that individuals did not earn, as it can lead to entitlement and self-defeating behaviors. Sapolsky explains that entitlement is rooted in the belief that one has earned certain attributes such as beauty, intelligence, or status. He also discusses the concept of righteousness, where individuals derive pleasure from punishing others for perceived infractions. He explains that this behavior is deeply rooted in human biology, as evidenced by studies on rats and non-human primates. Sapolsky emphasizes the need to reflect on the underlying motivations for such behavior and to question whether it truly makes sense in the larger context of human interaction. Sapolsky provides an evolutionary perspective on human behavior, citing examples from the animal kingdom to illustrate the complex interplay of biological and environmental factors. He discusses the concept of alternative strategies in evolutionary biology, highlighting the variability in human behavior and the diverse ways in which individuals can succeed in passing on their genes. He also challenges the notion that humans are inherently predisposed to aggression and violence, citing evidence that organized warfare may have only emerged in the last 10,000 to 12,000 years with the advent of agriculture and sedentary lifestyles. He emphasizes the need to recognize the variability in human behavior and to avoid oversimplifying complex evolutionary processes. Sapolsky delves into the evolutionary reasons behind certain behaviors, particularly those related to status and aggression. He explains that men, on average, tend to exhibit more aggressive behavior than women, which he attributes to evolutionary factors related to competition and reproduction. He suggests that these behaviors are rooted in our evolutionary history and are influenced by biological and hormonal factors. Sapolsky discusses the impact of biological factors on human behavior, citing the case of Phineas Gage, a railroad construction foreman who experienced a traumatic brain injury that drastically altered his personality. He explains that such cases demonstrate the profound influence of brain biology on human behavior and moral decision-making. He also discusses the role of blood glucose levels in influencing decision-making, citing studies that show how judges' decisions on parole hearings are influenced by their blood sugar levels. Sapolsky emphasizes the need to recognize the biological underpinnings of human behavior and decision-making, as well as the impact of cultural and contextual factors on these processes. Sapolsky explores the context-dependent effects of hormones such as testosterone, challenging the notion that testosterone directly causes aggression. He explains that testosterone makes aggressive individuals more sensitive to social cues that trigger aggression, rather than directly causing aggressive behavior. He provides examples of how testosterone influences behavior in different contexts, such as making individuals more likely to engage in behaviors that confer status when their status is being challenged. Sapolsky emphasizes the need to understand the nuanced effects of hormones on behavior and to consider the broader social and cultural factors that shape human interactions. Sapolsky discusses gender differences in mate selection, citing studies that show men and women prioritize different traits in potential partners. He explains that men tend to prioritize youth and fertility in women, while women prioritize status and earning capacity in men. He attributes these preferences to evolutionary factors related to reproductive success and genetic fitness. Sapolsky explores the role of dopamine in motivation and anticipation of pleasure. He explains that dopamine is not just about experiencing pleasure, but also about anticipating rewards and motivating behavior. He discusses how dopamine influences decision-making and the pursuit of goals, highlighting its role in driving human behavior and motivation. Sapolsky challenges the traditional approach to the criminal justice system, advocating for a public health model based on quarantine and minimal constraint. He argues that individuals who pose a danger to society should be constrained to prevent harm, but without punitive measures or moral judgment. He draws parallels to the public health approach to infectious diseases, emphasizing the need to address root causes and focus on rehabilitation rather than punishment. Sapolsky highlights the Scandinavian approach to the penal system, which focuses on rehabilitation and minimal constraint for individuals who have committed crimes. He discusses the case of a notorious criminal in Norway who received a lengthy jail sentence, but was provided with educational and social opportunities within the prison. He emphasizes the success of this approach in reducing crime rates and recidivism, challenging the punitive and retributive nature of traditional justice systems.